Oh, Bob, did you see that the Fallout 4, the Fallout Hearts of Iron 4 was updated?
I did not. What they had this time?
I don't know.
Gonna take a quick look.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look right now. I want to see what they added. Although you have to go on their Twitter, don't you?
No. Hoi 4, hoi 4, hoi 4, hoi 4.
We gotta get Kyle. Kyle, we gotta get you to something like this again with us.
Stuff like what now?
Hearts of Iron. You gotta start playing with us.
Twilight's Last Gleaming. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what they added.
Let me see here. Major features: restored Lone Star's hand, warband, previous incomplete Legion of bands, decisions added, several new character bios, unique pictures.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. I just need to start using my meds again.
Looks like this. Let's see.
Ooh,
Added 5.
The Great War was also the Great War Redux was also updated.
Ooh.
The Balkan powder keg.
Uh-oh.
That does not seem like a good one. I mean, this seems like it's going to be spicy.
To quote good old Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I know this one's gonna hurt.
Why must everything be broken?
Ah, the usual problem.
I'm just not even going to talk about it. It's minor. Don't let it get my day down anymore. Just,
What's broken?
no, not talking about it.
What's
What'd you
broken,
break?
cat?
What'd you break?
What'd you break? What'd you break, cat?
Don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah.
We also have Alan's sub goal still in the.
Yeah,
In the chat.
we've already did that. Please don't worry about that.
It's in the
I'm not doing
chat.
that. I'm not doing that again.
Did what?
The damn spider thing.
Yeah, the video's on the VOD, and it will be going up on YouTube soon.
You're damn right, it better be.
I took
I
a
am not
2-week
going.
vacation, so I have not done anything.
Greetings,
I
big.
am not doing this again.
Greetings.
So Bob, how many subs until your spook episode?
How many? What am I willing to sell my soul for?
No. After 30 subs, you gotta play Among Us with us.
Yeah.
No. That will be 500 subs, and I'll play Among Us again.
Why you got such a hate for Among Us?
Just don't like the goddamn game. I don't.
You can make like a community game night out of it or something, you know?
Fuck that. No, thank you.
It's all because of my fault, apparently.
Nope. I'm just not a fan of the goddamn game. I tolerated it for a little bit, but I was never a fan. And there's a Yuki.
Hi, hello,
Yuki.
Yuki.
The shit's on fire.
You're fine.
Hello, friendos. Among Us is a word Paris parlor game.
Exactly.
Also, guess what me and Yuki talked about recently?
Oh,
He wants to play Paradox Zomboid.
God, what? Oh, Lord.
Alan sold us one for 20. You can sell yours for 10 more.
Wow. You can sell your soul for 30. I tell you what. You know what? Bow is right. Tell you guys what. 30 subscribers, and Bob will have a spook.
Oh, 30.
Now Bob's
He's at 30
putting his
subscribers.
coins in
He'll play
now.
Among Us.
No.
I'm setting mine slightly higher.
I don't know. Can you beat Alan when it comes to being the scare factor?
I don't even care what the spooky episode, because I feel like Among Us would torture him more.
No, she really
Actually
wants
was.
to be the Among Us. He's
Hey,
selling
we sell the
souls.
souls?
Alien Isolation or nothing. Oh, I hate. Ugh.
Is it because it's spooky or you just don't like the game?
Well, in my humblest opinions, it's too jump scary.
We gotta make sure it's a VR game.
I want 3 a.m. IRL stream in the woods. No, Yuki, because I will shoot at every random noise that.
That's what makes it funnier.
You say that till lead is flying. And then it's, Bob, calm the fuck down. Bob, you're gonna get us arrested. Bob, we're now going to jail because of you.
Bob, don't shoot the geese.
Fucking murder chickens. No, Yuki, you will not get me out in the woods at 3 a.m. with anything short of a 12-gauge shotgun.
Get you a water gun. We did find a VR game that's close to walking out in the woods at 3 a.m.
Ugh. Yeah, I sent you what I thought would have been.
Ah, hello,
No.
Sora.
Yellow.
You know what we should do? We should get him to play the skyscraper game.
Nope, no. Yeah, I don't like heights either. That one you're just going to see me shake a lot.
Anti-height.
Oh, I don't like falling from heights, and I know where that one ends at.
Well, that's the thing about falling. You know where you're gonna end. So what's the problem? Perfect horror games. Skull. Oh God, skull through a Slanesh cultist Amazon basket.
No, thank you. Too many
Hello,
needles.
Cicero.
Hello.
Yellow.
Oh, we're back from a little vacation. Yay.
Listen, if anything is out there and you spray it with eye water, I'll be confused long enough for you to run away. Yuki, let's be honest. I appreciate your vote of confidence. I really, really do. But we all seen what I look like on camera. I don't run.
Bob doesn't run.
I run very short distance. I'm not the fattest of men, but I am still slightly overweight.
Nah, you're not fat. You're just bulk. You should get all that bulk going.
You
Hi,
mean
with
fat.
a fat one.
Oh, we're all big boned.
No, you're all big bone. I'm fucking obese.
Shut the fuck up, 6'8".
Yeah, you're kind of a giant. You know how high I had to put the camera up to get you in frame?
Makes the rest of us look short.
My camera's almost touching the ceiling. It's still there. I haven't taken it down yet.
Furthermore,
Oh boy, yes, Bob.
gentlemen,
Aren't we
we're back at
lowering
it
today?
again. Yes, we're back at it again. Finishing up Farsight. Where we last left off our intrepid anime hero on Dragon Ball Z. The Imperium had just proved to the Tau how dangerous the stars were. One of their even core systems kind of got a demi. I don't run, I advance. You're goddamn right. As we all saw what happened when Bob put the VR on and just realized, oh, I got a pistol. All of them self-defense shenanigans.
Whatever makes you feel better, Bob.
Yeah. Hey, I wasn't the one who was under the desk with my. God, I
I
feel
was
so
trying
bad.
not to get killed by you two.
Hey, fuck what? I wouldn't have cared if Alan hit me. I would have been more upset if he hit the models.
Hey, I panicked.
A broken nose is cheaper than replacing them. But anyway,
I'm gonna have to change that. Keep talking.
back at it again with the Farsight Enclaves. And our dear Farsight, who, after the Tau got their absolute shit pushed in by a fairly small crusade fleet, they realized, how did I say this? The Tau started questioning the Ethereals. You said we were superior in every way, shape, or form. You said the walking churches didn't exist. Clearly, the walking churches did exist, and they kicked our ass. You said the Imperium, their threat of exterminatus, was a joke. You said it doesn't exist. Yet Daleth is still on fire. Pans over to a world with no atmosphere anymore. What happened there, Ethereals? They called this time the time of questioning. And like all good communists, they decided to change gear, should we say. AKA, they looked at the only guy who was successful during the war, Farsight, and just started cranking out that propaganda. To the point where he was getting uncomfortable.
They just made him
And
a war hero.
no, he was everybody already warfare. They basically started elevating him to god status, and he's going, this is weird.
Also, even bigger than war hero. Okay.
Yeah, living legend. To the point where they started enacting statues in every naval port, every battle dome, every training center, every military complex had a statue of Commander Farsight. To the point where he was having to do the hunter salute so often that he was afraid he was going to wear out the servos in his unit, in his crisis suit.
Nice.
He's like, how do I picture
It's
it?
like that one meme where like the emperor's going down the escalators, the stormtrooper's
Yes,
going
that.
up. He's like, you know, like my emperor, stormtrooper.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Fat. To the point where when they sent him out, he was actually happy to be the fuck away from people. They sent him, how do I say this? They sent him with a force so large. How do I picture this? Perfect example. What our naval fleet was before 1944 and what it was after in the Pacific.
Talweeb's getting smacked by the larvers. Who would have thought?
Who with LARPers. I mean, that's what happens when you overestimate yourself with your weeb tech. Oh, that's just propaganda. Why'd they set up a fortress in the middle of a canyon? Why did it just move? Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. Thus began the Farsight expedition. But in stasis and with hearts full fired, with such numbers of battleships, navy vessels, everything you could think of, escorts, colony ships, war spheres, tugs, dropships, outrider patrols. So many that the fact that they were at one point the tower actually concerned they were going to deplete all of the supplies they would need in case this failed. This was an all or nothing. And they sent it off. And
So they're very much just like throw everything in the fucking kitchen sink at this problem.
yes, mind you, the Imperium at this point has completely left the area. They're dealing with High Fleet Behemoth.
And I'm sorry, Weeaboo fans, a high fleet is a little bit more important than you guys.
Yeah, to put it this way, lore-wise, as much as I'm kind of upset I don't get to make fun of Kevin since he's not here, but I'll say it now.
Yeah, your
The
tangent
Imperium-
stopper's not here.
Yes, I know. Same. The Imperium
Farsight
was
had his fedora snatched. Nice.
Milady, what the fuck? But Farsight basically, while everybody was sleeping in stasis, when he wasn't, he was gathering every fucking battle report, every camera capture, every snippet he could get with how they fought. And with the help of Commander Brightsword and his old ally, Vizsla, Earthcast, he gradually started building up a, how do I say it? No, I'll just say it as it is. He cracked the codex. He started studying how certain groups would react. How did Space Marines react when faced with superior armor? Do they fall back? Do they dig in? What goads them? What draws them away? What draws them to different locations? He studied all that to the point where he came up with a strategy to completely counteract the Space Marines. There's only one problem with this.
You're not fighting Space Marines more often. You're mostly fighting the actual Imperial Guard.
Not necessarily. That's not the problem I was speaking of. Each chapter,
Crack the codex, angry girly man noises.
each Space Marine chapter fights slightly different, so it's not a perfect counter. The main one he was studying were the hammers of Dorg. And what are Imperial fists known for, Alan?
Fortify.
Fortify, hold ground, do not give inch. While a White Scar, on the other hand, what he might do to you.
Go fast.
Go fast. So it's not a perfect counter to all Space Marines. But he had the basic idea.
Insert Sonic EXE.
Who said that? They get a cookie.
No, that was me. I said that, Dick.
You get a cookie.
Yes.
Alan, funny? Oh boy.
I know. Who the fucking known?
What did he sacrifice for that?
I gave up one of my toasters, so shush.
Basically, Farsight and his lieutenants said they had discovered the human war schematic. He believed a code that the Imperial troops observed at all times. In doing so, he learned a great deal about the blind spots in his own doctrines and began to adjust his strategies to overcome them.
Holy shit, adapt and overcoming? Wow.
Yes, like I said, Farsight is one of the few characters in this that has the common sense of, I'm not going to do that stupid shit twice.
Not like the Imperium, who's just throw meat at it?
Well, to be fair, it works. It might not work immediately, but it works. I don't agree with the strategy, but don't fix what ain't broke.
Imperium managed like a bunch of ants. He stepped on the ant hill.
And the ants got laser guns.
Only. Exactly. Oh, only the Ultramarines followed it to the T. Yeah, they all got their variations.
Actually, side tangent, the Ultramarines are not the most fanatical follower of the Codex Astartes.
Is it an offshoot of the Blueberries?
It isn't. Or they might. I'd have to look it up to make sure, but I think they're sons of. Fuck, were they? I think they're sons of Ferris Madness, the Red Scorpions. They are fucking fanatical to the point where they've insulted the Ultramarines for getting it wrong. That's not in the Codex Astartes. Motherfucker, who asked you? But I might be wrong. The Red Scorpions might be Ultramarine successors. I'll have to look it up later.
No, don't worry. You'll get actually by the chat.
Yeah, probably. I'm waiting for it.
Absolutely.
Actually, they are descendants of the Ultramarines. They are this founding, this date, and go fuck yourself, nerd.
It's coming.
But I digress. I'm waiting. I bet it's going to be Cicero. But once more, the expedition arrived on the far side of the Damocles Gulf. Farsight had started using his new stratagems against the Imperium with dramatic threats. While the bulk of the Imperial forces were away from the sector engaged with High Fleet Behemoth, he found himself waging a series of campaigns which he had the advantage from the fucking start. All that was left in the sectors primarily were planetary defense forces, left to garrison the worlds of the Timbra sector. Though, mind you, 100 million PDF is still going to be a problem per world, such on Vespertine and Martin's song. And I said per world. So you can
Do
understand
you know how many
this.
worlds that area was?
Damocles Gulf consisted of, how to say this? I want to say about 10, 15 worlds. But the major worlds were like Vespertine and Martin's song. So we can say most worlds probably didn't have such a big PDF garrison. So we'll say an average of 10 million per world. Some are probably going to be a lot less. Some are going to probably be a whole fuckload more. But time after time again, modest raids would lure the defenders out of their secure positions, hoping to secure a front that was only considered relevant by them. Once they had committed themselves, however, Farsight would fall from the skies with entire crisis cadres and just hit the kit. Actually, sure. Yes, you, Cicero. I was waiting.
Cicero was like, me?
Yes, I was fully expecting the longtime nerd to call the other nerd a nerd. But I'm still waiting for. I saw it, and actually, I was like, "Oh, great! Who's the one?"
Big Rose was like, actually, sure.
But as the Imperium would basically commit itself, Farsight would basically just land a guillotine blow. I'd just cut off the foe with such efficiency, it would have impressed Commander Pure Tide over and over again. Farsight's foresight paid off. I see what you did there. You could have wrote it any other fucking way, and that's how you wrote it. Oh, shit. Hang on. That's my phone going off. Nerds. Anyway. But, let me see here. Paid off. And with every new conquest, the Empire, that once they learned of it, sung a victory. Basically, fuck yeah, we're doing it. Farsight's combination of military acumen, hard work, and pure fucking aggression. Farsight had lived up to the inflated claims the Ethereals had made in his name. World by world, battle by battle, the Gulf was brought back into the fold. Reconquest of the 4 pinnacle worlds on the distant side of the Gulf were bloody in the extreme, however. Farsight's incredible ability to second-guess his foes made for an impressive string of victories here and there. But as the anarchy of battle rolled out, the Imperium did what it did best. And what is that, ladies and gentlemen?
Conquer.
Grind it down. Sure, you might have such advanced tech it can hit a fucking asshole. It can knock the wings off a fly 4 miles away. It's a real fucking shame I have 12 million lasers to hit you with. Thus, by the time they had managed to retake a lot of the world, a lot of the sector, the fleet, or I should say, by the time the fleet last system, merely half of it was left. Fewer than half. And he felt the losses keenly, not just in military, but as emotional and spiritually. The ethereals that had accompanied him had made it plain that there would be no more reinforcements this far from the Empire. What you got. If you fucked it up, it was all on you. Thus, another problem strode into the sector. Because who also likes a really good fight?
Orcs?
Ding, ding, ding.
Orcs.
Taking advantage of the armies of the Imperium being elsewhere, by the time the Farsight's coalition moved in, an asteroid belt to the east of the Enclaves was infested with orcs. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, or I'll give you a minute. Can you guess how many orcs were there?
40 million.
I'll say it again. The orcs had infestated a asteroid field.
Yes.
40 million. That's my final answer.
You want to hear a joke?
What?
But previously there was no asteroid field.
Oh, so they created one.
What do orcs like making their starships out of, Alan?
Rock. That's rock hard.
Do you understand the series of poor decisions that followed for those who didn't understand this?
Oh, wow, the asteroid field. Let's go mine it. Why is the asteroid field green?
More like oh, cool. We'll mount a series of quick raids to repel the orc raiders from asteroids and we'll mine it. Cool. Each one successful and efficient. However, space drones, as they made their flyby scans to make sure it was clear, a horrible truth became evident. Every asteroid large enough to hold them was teeming with orcs. And if the ratings were right, the asteroid belt was but the tip of an empire that stretched all the way into the next star system.
Oh, no.
Oh no! As Farsight was on the brink of total victory, this orc presence deeply upset Farsight as somebody who's already had to back off from an orc wog before. He meditated like a fucking animu on the new information for many hours. And upon returning to his ship's command bridge, he gave an order that would shake the Empire to its core. He announced that the destruction of the orcs was a higher priority than the conquest. Which, for the first time in Tau history, a Tau had countermanded the Ethereals. Because Farsight's orders was to complete the conquest. They went, fuck you, the orcs are a bigger problem. Of course, the Ethereals played this off as a wise tactical decision that the Ethereals agreed with. Can you guess what was actually going on?
It was currently infighting.
Alan, what did Stalin start preparing for when Sukhov was getting too big for his breeches?
I was getting ready to assassinate him.
Yep! They were making plans for accidents to happen, if you will. And that mind you, he announced that he was the destruction of the orcs, and he would expend every effort to exterminate them, targeting every planet they infested and every system in the next. And it was time for the
motherfucking DACA.
Exactly.
It was a billion, fuck, orc rocks. Send the assassin.
Send the assassin. Oh. But targeting, as I said, he was targeting every planet they infested and the next one. It's the first time a Tau of any rank had disobeyed the council, the Ethereal Council itself.
Hey, how many orcs are there? Yes. How many orcs
Yes.
did we kill? Yes.
But for the newly named Farsight enclaves, it was only the beginning of their disobedience, should we say. As the other casts as the expedition began repopulating the enclave worlds, the fleets were ready for war, leaving only small garrisons to defend the colonies. Farsight set out for the asteroid belt to clear it of orcs. His plan was for the Tau Navy to use their superior range to pick off the orcs apart without risking a single life. Smart concept. And what the concept was sound. However, it faltered.
would look good on paper.
Yes, because once again, insignificant. Somebody changed the report because that's too stupid to be true. I can't report that to the commander instead of just reporting. I think this might be the case. By the time they reached the Orc fleet, the asteroids weren't hiding an Orc fleet. They were the Orc fleet. Gigantic clamps of debris that had been smothered together with weapons, engines, and whatever the fuck the Orcs think was important at the time.
Whatever.
Rock
looked cool.
hard. If rock hard, good enough to block bullet. More rock.
I hope they have a large supply of ammo. You and me both, Cicero, but it doesn't seem that way.
You will never have enough ammo.
Against Orcs, no, Basically, what was propelling this fleet was engines the size of biodomes attached to it.
Don't you know? Bigger engine, faster go.
Yes. And he wasted no time cross-referencing the symbols in the asteroid ships with those of the Orc invasions that he had dealt with in the past. Sure enough, these had been encountered many years ago. In fact, by Farsight and Deneth, after a short war, the threat had been declared neutralized. But, like fungus, you never really get rid of it. It's like the
Never
tax man.
zero.
The possibility of Orcs is never zero, simply low.
Never none, always low.
And they had fled to the fringes of the Empire, hoping to prey upon newly established colonies. And I did put this in my notes, but I'm not going to say this corny line. Much as a savannah hunter seeks the youngest and most infirm prey.
Bob should do the squirrel voice. Oh God.
No, ain't nobody want to hear that. Believe me, you.
He's lucky I can't control his microphone.
I tell you what, if we hit 40, I will then allow Kyle to tell me what voice sings it also. So you get a spook, and Bob gets to be told what voices to make.
No.
Look who's going ham here. He's got the taste of power.
Yeah, that's my conditions. You're welcome. Anyway,
Man, if me and the lore master here have to sit there and both go chipmunk, oh my God.
dear God.
I'm sick. I can't be here that day.
That would be something they could just do in the goddamn thing, Alan.
It's
So
forever,
I hope
Alan. Forever now.
that's not a one-time thing. That is from now on.
Hey, would you look at that? I gotta work every show now. I apologize.
Wow. Aren't you a whiny little shit?
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, you fucking mutant.
It's not my fault your wife has bigger balls than you.
Oh God, the Imperium's infighting again.
Shut the fuck up, you dirty robot.
Go fuck yourself, you soulless machine.
In fealty of the God Emperor,
Get
our
exterminatus.
undying Lord,
Yep, I saw that.
grace of the Golden
You know what?
Throne,
That's fair.
Fair enough.
I declare
We got far too off
exterminatus.
cod. But anyway, extremely surprised by this revelation, Farsight formulated a plan to exterminate the Orc asteroid ships with dear Christ on a stick. I'm going to sound racist saying this name, so I'm going to put it in chat before I say it.
Because that's going to clear your mind.
Go ahead. Try to pronounce that. Coral Oily Moon Tings. Finest pilot.
Cor Oli Maltang.
Yes, the most stereotypical Asian name somebody could have thought of. With from now on, I will refer to this character as the Admiral. Fair enough. Good.
Okay.
The Admiral sent his finest pilots at the tip of each spearhead to fall upon the clumsy Orc fleet with speed. Each asteroid could barely turn its guns towards the Tau before its engines would be blown apart by the Aircast pilots. The spectacle had to be repeated for weeks. And his progress could be followed throughout the heavens. Basically, you got a free show if you're on planet what side. You just see streaks of light just zipping by. And thus, a sheer number of orc bases was their own. The sheer number of the orc bases was the only real defense, because when in doubt, invoke the carrier method. They can't all hit the aircraft carrier if there's 1,000 of us shooting up into the sky.
As the Xenos dance around the sky, we filled the sky with lead.
Though the real problem was the only real accepted tactic of breaking an orc wog was to kill its war boss. To throw the wog into disarray was quite impossible to enact in this situation. So it basically, Farsight had to take the sledgehammer and crack every fucking nut till he found it. Hundreds of the furthest asteroid ships were now accelerating towards worlds of the next system. Hundreds. Excuse me. Once most of the asteroid ships had been destroyed or driven off, hint, hint, I'm going to give you a little spoiler, they weren't the most. Farsight had reported to the ethereal advisors that the Greenstein menace was greatly reduced and he could dispatch a full half of the remaining fleet to return to the enclaves, which they nodded sagely, like they were going to get a say in the matter, because political officers always do. Wink. But as Farsight was about to leave in triumph, they had something to reveal. The Admiral had been killed by a hidden missile base while overseeing an extermination order. Farsight's eyes had narrowed at this statement, but he bowed low, asking for leave to go and meditate in his quarters. Once he emerged, though, he decided no one was going back yet. The orcs were going to be punished and every last one of them put to the torch.
Oh, you done got a case of the purgies.
Farsight is falling more into the Imperial mindset when it comes to orcs every minute. Kill them all.
All this effort, and all Yarg needed to do is hit them with a blue steel look.
Well, to be fair, old Evil Eye had an evil eye. Or old Bale Eye, I should say. But unbeknownst to the Farsight, he was about to make a whoopsie.
Uh-oh.
His strike against these orcs had initiated a war against a foe that had not only encountered the Tau before, but survived.
Ash, too soon. We're sorry, Armageddon.
Angron's gonna get his ass beat by an orc. I can't wait for that book.
I want that story arc so bad.
I remember we already seen Lionel Johnson take a shield to his face. I really want to see Gaskell just pick him up and break him over his knee.
I want to see Gaskell and Angron fight. Oh my
Go
god,
ape
it's
shit.
so good.
It's almost like they could probably sell that as a box set, for Christ's sakes. The Beast versus the Red Angel. Print money. Fellas, I have a plan. But back on topic, there was also one other problem. The orc leader of this gaggle of British lollygaggers actually had 3 brain cells to rub together.
Oh, fancy. Smart orc.
Problem orc. Grog Iron Tiff. And no, I didn't pronounce that. It's Teef. Iron Tiff. War Chief of Antalisa. And he learned the hard way that Tau could outrange orcs in space. So, he had the bright idea to draw them away from the enclaves and then engage them at close range. On the most rugged and tightly packed planets the orc could find. As I said, this orc had many brain cells.
Well, he was smart enough to realize, oh wow, their guns are really long, or hurt really far for really long away. Let's get them closer for a good crumpin'.
Let's get them close for a crumpin'. The remaining asteroid ships of the belt spread out into two fleets and neared both the Magi system and the Frenches of Damocles. Well, the first one near the Magi system near the edges of Damocles Gulf. Farsight's armada and mounted them the best they could. One cluster plunged off towards the deserted world of Arthas Moloch. Those who have read the Horus Heresy know what's on this world. And the other towards the Tau-held world of Atorli Bull. A large dagger-shaped asteroid flew at the heart of the latter fleet. And after basically stared at it for a while, went, I bet you money that's the flagship. I bet you that's where that asshole orc's at. Because it looked like a weapon, and that would appeal to an orc.
The big fancy ship.
The one that looks like a giant bloody dagger.
Oh, there you go.
He gave the order to head for Atali. His assumptions were correct. The dagger ship was his quarry's flagship. Like he needed to guess that shit. Which one looks like a giant weapon? I bet you money that's where the war boss is. But Farsight signaling the Tau that had settled it during the second expansion sphere. So these guys had actually survived Damocles Gulf. And they'd been hauled out. Farsight prepared to make Planetfell join the planet's firecast against them. But the problem was, they were scrambling their own fleet, and they received a chilling message from Farsight, who knew how orcs worked. They would not. Farsight tried to tell them, the asteroids will not be slowing on re-entry. Get the fuck away from where they're going to land. The orcs intended to smash them into the planet with as much force as xenosly possible.
As orcally possible.
Yes. It was the same on Arkanasha, where he'd faced these orcs before. Only this time, the target was a world of cities and gardens, and not just a giant desert. So this was a much bigger problem. At first, the Tau were confused by Farsight's statement on the side of his presence, and refuted his claim. Basically said, you're just a fucking idiot. How many bets? Who wants to place bets on whether they live to regret this decision, ladies and gentlemen?
They didn't live long at all. So
they lived just long enough to regret the decision.
Exactly. And they slammed into the planet with main continent. I'm not gonna even say that name. It's stupid. Volhai. Each one snuffing out millions of lives with the impact, because much like the dinosaurs, we too suffer problems with giant explosions. The dagger-shaped flagship at the heart of the fleet drove itself into the capital city. Who the fuck named this shit? Weeb. Here, ladies and gentlemen, you may laugh with me.
$10 for a short version. Tau-Rotasha? What the fuck?
Tau-Rotasha.
The jewel of the white-walled cities was reduced to a blasted crater in the span of a second. The surviving Tau hoped the orcs had died.
And it gone.
Yes, and it gone. The Tau had hoped that the orcs had died executing their insane tactic.
They were wrong.
You can't see my face, but it's basically, you silly Xeno. But they were horribly disappointed, for the ships were protected by powerful, it says shields, but orcs don't use shields. They use whatever, the log shield shit, that weird Gravitic shit.
The imagination?
The imagination, yes, that's what we're going with. And each warship, the orcs seethed out of the wreckage in a storm of anger and pent-up aggression. Wherever the Tau engaged them, the orcs returned fire with crackling energy beams and salvaged Tau weaponry.
What this thing do? I push trigger and it hits Blue Boy. I like it.
The volume of fire pouring out of the orc rings was unlike the Tau had ever encountered before. The craters made by the planet provided enough cover to weather the firing solutions of the fire cast. aka the orcs had set themselves very nice and made their own trenches. Farsight's armies docked with the planet's sky stations and joined the battle. But it soon became very fucking clear to everybody involved that, once again, Farsight was right. 2, the local ethereal leader was a fucking moron. And 3, they're fighting a very different kind of orc. These aren't primitives like they encountered in Arkanasha. Hulking leader beasts covered in glyph greatcoats unleashed blasts of binding green light from multi-barreled guns, each powerful enough to punch through a battle suit. Captured hammerheads and sky rays lurched from the rocks, flames of fire splashing over the steel-forged halls as if they plunged into the ranks of the Tau. Whirling orc kappas spit hails of fire, forcing the Tau into cover as yet more orcs spilled out. At a dozen impact sites, the battle intensified again and again and again until Tau blood mingled with blackest ooze of the orc fallen. Things were looking very bad.
Oh, sweet, sweet Icker.
But deliverance was finally delivered. Not by the Firecast, however. Because, when in doubt, what is the doctrine that our great nation subscribes to, Alan, Kyle?
Firepower.
He who rules the heavens rules the earth. The Aircast came with barracudas, tiger sharks, pariahs, mantas, and sunsharks. Bombers, fighters, aircraft, and strike craft, and just started going to town. Basically forcing the orcs into cover and making them either retreat to their rucks or become bloody chunk. And with with the orc advantage broken and the tide turning, Farsight pushed the advantage, leading a cadre of his own warriors over the lip of the dagger ship's impact crater, looking to find the orc war boss and kick his ass. Only to find out the orc was smarter. Thousands of orcs spilled into the crater from ambush.
Oof.
Like the jaws of a vice, the cow could not fire it in every direction at once. It's called just shoot faster, you lazy bastards. If the Imperial Guard can shoot in every direction, so can you. Within a few minutes of the trap being sprung, the last stand became a massacre. So hulking, as described as, and I quote, obstinate. Suffice to say, the orc was as big as a Primarch.
You're the Primarch.
Well, not Primarch. Those things stood about 5 feet taller than a Primarch. This was just a very big war boss.
Well, if he's got to be that big, he's got to have some smarts on him if he's that big. So
Yes.
It explains a lot.
The orc flung himself into the fight. His mind, Farsight, completely done with this bullshit, ordered his battlesuit teams to boost out of melee with their jetpacks. They fired into the orc mass below as they soared away, felling a great many with their how do you do, asshole? But the fact remained that they had charged headlong into a trap. An orc pulled a trap out on a Tau. This stung somebody's ego very much. And those Tau that had escaped recombined in the space stations. The Tau call them sky stations. Conceding the battle zones around each asteroid and laying plans for a planet-wide counterattack. Humbled by his defeat at the crater, aka I got my shit pushed in, acted only as an advisor as the ensuing war unfolded. AKA he basically went, I'm not leading this anymore. My emotions are getting the better of me. You fuckers lead, I'll go where it's most needed. And he risked his life over and over again to atone for leading so many to their death. But the stain of his honor had remained. The planet's isolated military eventually collapsed over the course of a difficult and costly campaign. When victory had been assured beyond our... I'm sorry. I actually misread that because I know that's not right because they actually held this world. The orcs basically, over the course of a bloody world, inflicted horrendous faults damages into the Tau, but eventually they were wiped out. When a victory had been assured beyond all doubt, Farsight left the planet, swearing not to make the same mistakes. Yet, once again, the Orc pulled a Houdini. Because somehow the Orc had also managed to get off-world. When
Orc.
just orcs, I don't know how they do it, but orc. When Farsight's
Imagination.
shit.
I believe I can do it, so I can do it,
Boss, what
bitch.
are you doing here? I thought you were over there. Oh yeah, you're right. I was. Pop.
Green light, some Ludus, looted some Necrons. It doesn't specify.
I do like it goes that Talroda destroyed the amount of time it took to name it. Progress.
That's getting pinned.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, before
You,
we
sir.
continue on the show, I forgot to mention. So what I'm doing here is I have 3 of the NIDs, and I have 3 different schemes I want to paint them in, but I don't know what I want to do. So I'm going to paint the 3 schemes, put them on the Discord, and have you all vote on which one you think is your favorite. And then I'm going to paint my NIDs, that color scheme. All right, Bob, you may continue.
Huzzah!
No, you may not.
Fuck off, Alan. When Farsight's fleet emerged once again from the Gulf, he was shocked to find the Enclaves in a full state of war. Remember how I said there was only garrisons on all the planets?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Can you guess who also figured that out?
I guess the orcs.
The Orc. And with panic rising within him, he ordered his fleet to close with Valalos, the most populous of the worlds. AKA Valora is basically named after Farsight's homeworld. Long-range communications confirmed his worst suspicions. The scattered Orc asteroid ships that were not destroyed had fallen from the skies upon vulnerable Tau planets. Much like before, the asteroid ships had been used as weapons. The night sky is now empty where the necklace of asteroids had glinted before. The Orcs laid in ambush till the Farsight Enclave had left, and then turned on the engines. Went, okay, boys, time to kick some ass.
Wait for them to leave.
Yes.
All right, time knock on the door.
Time to hit the door. With the majority of their military on campaign, the garrisons defended each world were locked in a desperate fight for survival. AKA, oh fuck, oh shit, where the fuck's the commander? We're gonna die. Fuck. Farsight met with his commanders at the new Firecast headquarters. Basically a giant disc city floating in safety above the ocean. Yes, it's Valoris is basically a ocean world. And where the hell was I? God damn it. Lost my spot. There we go. The situation was much the same in the neighboring worlds. And I'm not gonna I even have it in my notes. I'm not pronouncing this shit, so I didn't even write it down. And I did write one down. The nearby ocean world, since it was God damn it, I gotta stop just putting notes in context. But I'll read what I exactly wrote. I have to say this one because this one is another ocean world. I just can't get away with saying that ocean world.
That ocean world.
Shazlia, fuck this.
Oh, so
Gentlemen,
it will be Miss High Fleet contest? Yes, it will be. It's wrong.
Sometimes I wish you just give a.
Yes, Bob.
I wish there was ways I could give stickers.
Give cookies.
God damn it. And now my thing's stuck. Some bitch. There we go.
Uh-oh, you broke it.
Yes, I did break it. But yeah, try to pronounce that, ladies and gentlemen.
Farsight.
Excuse me.
By not trying to pronounce-
Hill?
By trying not to pronounce the wonderful names of the Tau, you proved yourself to be a xenophobic jerk. The Imperium is proud of you. Yay. Because in the Imperium, there is no racism. Just xeno hate.
Yes, I won't even stoop to the level of their language.
Yo.
To be fair,
yeah.
to be honest with you, though, I'm just afraid I'm going to say something offensive by accident trying to pronounce this shit.
Well,
But-
we'll just blame GW.
Yes, we will. As we blame them about the pygmies.
Oh God, don't go there.
It's their fault.
Don't go there.
Basically, that ocean world is now prowled by a large amount of iron-hulled orc battleships. And I'm not talking about spaceships. I'm talking about sea ships.
Wait, actually, see?
Yes. It's an ocean world, and the orcs had battleships.
They actually have like naval ships. That's funny.
Yes. The Green Singings were running riot throughout the enclaves, and the Firecaster was already making plans to withdraw the survivors. With his voice level and controlled, Farsight asks how they could have let events get to this point. They reported that war had hung in the balance until a great orc pontiff appeared and united their armies. I'll give you 3 guesses who that is. Since then, they
Nazgul, Nagu, Thraka.
No, that would be Goth. If Thraka was there, Farsight would probably not have won. They had lost territory fast. Farsight had hunted all the way to Atari Vol, or the same orc that Farsight had hunted from the Atari Vol that had seemingly escaped, only to double back and strike at the vulnerable worlds of the Farsight of the Enclaves, while their commander was elsewhere. This aggravated the fuck out of Farsight. Just the goddamn thing was a fucking orc was pulling a Sun Tzu. So
Attack while your opponent's pants are down?
basically, the orc had probably got his hands upon the human text, The Art of War, and he was using it full scale, ordering his lieutenants to remain behind and fight in his stead. Farsight strode out of the Firecast command center, climbed into the cradle of his battlesuit, took off towards the horizon. Months passed. The war for the Ironclaves had grown on. Though his armies were led capably by his lieutenants, without their leader, all they could do was hold the tides of orcs from total victory. Murmurs of dissent, even anger, began to spark the corners of the Enclaves with his disappearance. Can you guess what we're about to go through?
How
Civil
he got
War.
his sword?
Nope.
Aw.
This is another one of Farsight's arcs. Appalled by his
Chapter,
own...
who the fuck knows?
This episode
Next time on
on
Dragon Ball Warhammer 40k.
the wave is done. Make him feel smart. Lol, orcs.
Dr. Jones at his loot locker. Ha ha! If the weeb is dumb, make him feel smart. Well, orcs too.
And that one's getting pinned for 5 minutes. Well done, sir.
Yeah, there's your cookie.
And appalled by his own failures, he resolved to think long on the events that led him to this point. With no war victory possible in a traditional sense of mobility and patience, as the Tau always were, with the orcs on the verge of breaking the enclaves and bringing them into their green hands, so intoxicated by the scent of imminent victory that even killing their warlord would not stop them. Farsight sought inner guidance, as we should say, to bring the planets themselves to his aid as he had done on Arkanasha. Because remember, that was Farsight's big thing on Arkanasha. He turned the world against the orcs. Yet this time, the scale of war was much larger. In his search for wisdom, he skimmed low across the salt ocean of Volas, and then plunged into the water, diving down into the darkness of the ocean bed. There he
Everyone's
settled.
dying. He went for a swim.
Basically, yeah, he went into the mountains like a bloody monk and just went inner peace.
All right, y'all
There.
keep dying. I'm gonna go meditate. What?
This is the town. They all don't give a fuck about this shit. I would be upset if my commander went, yeah, I'm gonna fuck off over here for now. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
You keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna take a break. What?
To the town, he is seeking inner wisdom. Imperials.
Bitch, we dying.
But sitting cross-legged in the hero's mantle, his stealth is crisis suit's mantle for 7 long cycles. I don't even know how long that is because the town don't have a standard thing. We're gonna say 7 weeks.
So we don't know how much their standard like cycle is.
Yeah, I don't even know whether referring to a regular cycle, long cycle, yearly cycle. What? It's just 7 cycles. I'm gonna make the bold assumption Farsight wasn't packing several hundred pounds of food with him. So we're going to say about 7 weeks at the most, 7 days at the minimum, and call it a day.
Oh, okay.
Night sharks and glowfish circled the bubbles that bled up from the oceanic fishes around him as he sought inspiration from the cold truths of the water. Once his undersea meditations were completed, Farsight blasted from the oceans into the skies above. The shadow of his battlesuit filtering across the waves and towards the great volcanoes at the center of the planet. With his battleship jets equalizing against the winds around him, he opened his suit's command cradle above the peak of the dormant volcanoes and closed his eyes, feeling the air rush around him until he came to the understanding of its secrets. Once his trance had ended, he traveled again, plunging deep into a canyon at the heart of a mountain range. He's literally going on an avatar trip, ladies and gentlemen. Earth, water, fire, air. Are you sick of the anime jokes?
With our
Yes,
powers combined.
Because I sure shit am, and they just keep writing themselves.
Captain Planet, he's a hero. Take pollution down to 0.
And this is the most hazard one. After he left the mountain range, he went into, how do I say this? He flew into an inferno that swept across the tinder-dry forests. He went into a bloody wildfire. Descending into the blazing sheets of flame, his battleships hazard particles flaring red as, hey, jackass, it's hot here. We should leave. As the outer layers heated up to critical levels, he could feel his flesh starting to burn. The smell of roasting meat slowly filling his command cradle. His skin started to sear from a tan gray of his homeworld to a rich, deep black, but he did not cry out. When he left the wildfire, his crisis suit flew across the skies like an ember in the night.
It was hot, yo.
Yeah, and Farsight came up with, using each one of these scenarios, came up with an idea to break the orc armies. I don't know why he had done that without burning himself alive, almost drowning himself and shit, but here we are.
So pretty much what he got was light him on fire. Got it.
Oh no, much more creative than that. I will give him credit for that. Above the crystal plains of, once again, that's another word I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce. Elegant Tau fighters had dueled for weeks with thousands of snub-nosed orc aircraft. Farsight suddenly joined them out of nowhere, ordering every aircraft pilot in the skies to override their consoles and release their propellant gases, forming a wall of volatile emissions shaped to his exact instructions. He then ignited it with a blast from his plasma rifle. Can you guess what is also explosive? Promethium. Guess what orc fighters use as fuel, guys?
Medium.
Guess how?
Imagination.
For once, no. A great cloud of flame roared across the planet as they burned the last of their fuel to escape. The aircraft were buoyed by the resultant thermals and rode the thunderhead of the fireball While the clumsy orc craft were consumed in the process, the surface was simultaneously cleansed of both the greenskins and their corrupting spores. On Shalisa High, that other ocean world, Farsight drove to the bottom of the ocean and carefully planted gifts he had requested from the Earthcast. His old friend Ovisla had not let him down. Dull thumps of disc-sized seismic defibrillator nodes awoke the wrath of the planet's oceans. Do you like hurricanes? Then I got hurricanes on your hurricanes on your hurricanes. The skies were above were driven by such extreme tsunamis the orc battleships plowing its waters capsized. Razor whales of the oceans ate well that night, but Farsight had moved on. The urban landscape of another world, literally what I have in my notes, the Earthcast had planted hundreds of living nodes upon the planet's surface, each nestled very gently around the towering spires of rocks. I give you three guesses what he did with them rocks.
You want us to actually guess?
No, because it'd be too
You're on
humiliating.
such a good roll, Bob.
Do you say that, or you just try to be a smartass? Because I feel like I know which one your answer is. Either way, he led the orcs into ambushes, collapsing these towers of. Mind you, the towers almost hit atmosphere, trapping and crushing billions of orcs. Before the hour was out, the planet started shuddering, as in shaking. All the rock spires collapsed, burying the orcs in 40 meters of solid rock. The mag-lifted living nodes, aka the cities, were lowered back down to set atop the world's new crust. Fucking Christ. And he returned back to Valoras and conducted a bonding ritual, revisiting the flayed morale of his troops. AKA he went back and like, hey guys, I'm back. I've actually crushed the orc army. Let's go kick their ass.
Yeah, Citro's got it right. It's tsunamis, not hurricanes.
I'm sorry. It should have been kamikazes. That's what I should have said. Divide wins. And this time, with his army reconstituted, regrouped, and ready to kick the teeth out of the orcs, the Tau went to war at Arthas Moloch. And Cicero, I bet, has kept up with the Horus Heresy book, so he knows about this world. How about you guys? Ever heard this name before?
Not that I can recall.
Nope. You know how the story of the Emperor going into the warp, the steal the primordial spark to make the Primarchs?
I heard about that one.
Yeah, this is the world he did that on.
Ah.
This is where that active warp gate is.
There's a warp gate there. That's wonderful.
A stable warp rift, I should say.
So bad.
Very bad. Very bad indeed. By this point, though, they had no idea. Farsight pursued the orcs to a strange, how do I say this? A zenith, which they would come to refer to as... Fuck, did I put this in my notes? Basically, Farsight kicked their asses all over the world to the battle of the Great Star Deus, where as the Tau were killing them, they noticed their blood started enacting something. What in the fuck? What the fuck is that?
Blood for the blood god?
Blood god.
There it is. Blood for the blood god. As soon as I say that, the alert goes off. Rose or nose?
Because, how do I say this? Where was I? God damn it.
Talking about the blood activating something in the warp. And that's when we started saying blood for the blood god.
Oh, a strange phenomenon had occurred at quote me, an 8-pillared temple dubbed the Great Star Dias by the Star Aircast. The orcs fell to the dusty stone. A bizarre explosion of light had spilled out. Farsight himself had overseen this part of the purge and killed dozens of orcs with his own rifle. They watched in fascination because surprisingly, when you kill something and suddenly a ball of light happens, it's a little fucking weird.
Slightly.
As eventually a blazing disc of multicolored light began to form above the DS. The shadows of the milling orcs beneath it dancing with a life of their own. A sudden gout of energy poured out the disc like blood bursting from a dying man's lips. When the glow faded, the star-carved stone was covered with horned crimson aliens like which Farsight had never seen, and multi-limbed abominations he had seen during his time of the trial of fire. Remember how I mentioned that those things were chaos spawn?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're seeing where Farsight's like, wait a fucking minute, I've seen this shit before.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
The long-limbed figures cut into the orcs with swords so black they seemed to Farsight like holes in space. Their unintelligible war cries forcing his bastard's eye just to go, no, I am not hearing that shit. It just cut out. More goblets of energy spilled out of the blazing disc. Dozens and upon dozens of bright pink creatures cartwheeled out and how to say this? Capered out from wherever they touched.
You
From
okay
what?
there, Bob?
Look, God damn it! I got a long thing. I fucking just trying to read a previous statement while reading that one. Dozens of bright pink cat figures cartwheeled and capered out from wherever they touched, raising their comically long arms to the skies. They sent blazing streams of multicolored fire into Tau observers above. Flames that turned the prow of a passing piranha into shards of a kaleidoscope glass. The flames that turned the Tau to stone, to water, to statues of screaming bone. Zinch has entered the game.
Oh, Zinch.
Farsight ordered a retreat, commanding his forces to get the fuck out of Dodge as fast as they could. Farsight himself was the only one to look back as he gazed at the crackling disc that whirled above the DS. The portal gazed back. Though he knew that to be impossible, growing larger and larger until it filled his vision completely. It seemed to him like a titanic void, a rip in the fabric of reality, boiling his mind, had torn the heart from the galaxy, and with it withered a trillion terrible deaths, each carrot calling out his name. In that moment, he was changed forever. Because when hell tells you you're going to die, it tends to fuck with you slightly.
I would imagine
Slightly.
so.
Though he had beheld greater danger, far greater than that posed by the races, and mind you, a threat that had posed greater danger than the races of the Atarok giant space spiders, the orcs, or even the humans. This disc of light was a gateway to another dimension, a dimension that was desperate to break through. As blood began to trickle from his eyes, he lost consciousness. His battleship spiraled out of control to crash headlong into a catacomb, into a tomb.
Okay, time for me. I am barely sitting upright. Too much time spent away from bed today. Have a good evening, guys. Keep calm and carry on making fun of Xenos.
You
Night,
goddamn.
Cicero.
Good night,
Have a
Cicero.
good night, Cicero. Its automated systems providing just enough intimate support to keep him from lapsing into a coma, that being his battlesuit. When Farsight came to, he found that his unconsciousness from being, when he came to, he found that his unconscious form had been retrieved to the medbay of his flagship. The situation on Moloch had gone critical, the advisors reported. Though the tower was still planetside, they were preparing to get the hell out. Drawn by the lure of battle, the orcs were rushing to the thousands to the Star DS because of fucking orcs. Wait. There's demons now? Tuska somewhere? Wog!
Let's go!
Yes. That being Tuska somewhere.
Let's fucking go, boys!
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. That's what I'm about. Though, unfortunately, the orcs throwing themselves into the fight only made things worse, driving them closer to extinction, thankfully. So Farsight's like, now I gotta deal with the new ones, but at least they're killing the orcs.
So he's currently thinking, just let them kill each other while I prepare.
No, he thought that and then saw the hole in the sky getting bigger and bigger and went, okay, I just can't let them kill the orcs. There's other problems. He immediately countermanded all the orders given in his absence, mostly by the Ethereals, and went, stupids, we got other issues. They had somehow caused the strange nightmare to awaken, and he said it was their duty to end it. And once again, when Farsight in a battlesuit woke up and said, we're doing this, the Ethereals, the political officers went, yes, that is a good idea. Yes. It's a good thing we thought of it. Yes.
Yes, we're so glad you agree with us.
Insisting they must personally monitor the new threat they had uncovered. Their instructions given, the Firecast returned to the fray in force. Squadron after squadron of orcas, dropships, descended and shattered amphitheaters and mausoleums ranged around the Great Temple. Mantis dropped Hunter Cates, aka crisis teams, into the orc-infested necropoli on the hinterlands. A large detachment of Tau had been tasked with monitoring the strange creatures spilling from the rift, while two other major detachments eradicated the remaining orcs at extreme ranges, as much range as possible. The seething melee that had started upon the Star Dais was heaving back and forth as more orcs came to the fight, and as Farsight and the Ethereals had been seconded to his the Ethereals that had been seconded into his expedition came within scanning range. A pair of massive red wings, twice the size of Farsight's battlesuit, burst from the disk in the blaze of red light, hurtling through the skies towards them. Behind them came more winged beasts, some feathered in the manner of the rooks of Volon Thon, some bat-like rings that drizzled gore on the combatants below. These airborne terrors split off into two groups that headed out into the wilderness. As they winged through the skies, they roared and shrieked in a language that Farsight couldn't even fucking understand, but it hurt his soul to hear. His broadside teams were the first to see the monstrosities and start blasting at them. And what did I say this? They slammed into the brass armor of the leading monstrosity, aka this is a bloodthirster that just showed up, and tearing a wing off, setting it wheeling to the ground. Secret missiles and plasma bolts added to the fuselage. The second beast quickly diverted from the ancient temple, lost from sight. Suddenly, a third one burst through a crumbling facade to fall upon the fire warriors, hiding behind it. The giant's alien brass axe, cutting several Tau in half with every swipe, and severing and cutting tanks in twine. Yeah, definitely bloodthirsters.
Oh, yeah.
The second of the great beasts dropped from above and kicking Farsight. Okay, it did a flying Spartan kick. I think this was Scarbrand in all honesty, because this seems like some shit Scarbrand.
Scream.
This is some shit Scarbrand would do, just drop kick a motherfucker. Where was I? Ah, here it is. Kicking into an ancient statue. Mind you, as he's flying back, Farsight lines up a plasma rifle shot and hits it right out of the chin, sending it kicking its head back and reeling back for a moment before lashing with its whip. And while pulling Farsight towards it, ripped its arm off. Can you guess what Farsight's next reaction was to having his main long-range weapon being ripped from his suit?
He did what no Tau has done before.
He did
Melee.
He cold-cocked a freaking bloodthirster. I mean, and it doesn't say it in the wiki, and I know it because I have this written down. It's mentioned in one of the books where he jokingly said the Bravestorm when they encountered demons again, like, what are we supposed to do to these things? Well, the first time I encountered them, I didn't have a sword or nothing, so I had to punch it. He punched a bloodthirster and knocked it off its feet quickly.
Oh, he gave it the right hook of the century.
Yes, he gave a right hook that would made it. He would have made Ferris Magnus proud with that right hook. The iron-handed man would have gone, well done, that was impressive. His directional sensor's picking up a weapon shape behind him, and Farsight realized, I've only staggered it. I need a weapon. And he lunged the sword clutched by this giant statue that had fallen and toppled. He darted behind the statue's rubble. A split second before the bloodthirster, having gotten up, smashed his axe and turned the marble figure into powder. Its curved blade fell free, rolling sideways. Farsight snatched the sword up in a smooth motion and swung it hard at the beast's midsection. The bloodthirster easily evaded the blow, launching himself into the air and bounding past his position. Farsight's like, what the fuck? As Farsight pursued the beast, he saw it bring its axe down on a nearby fountain with an overhead blow with such force, he could hear the crack of the flagstones beneath it. And Farsight's like, what the fuck was that about? They caught up with it, and the beast once again bounded into the sky and swooped off. Fighting the urge to continue his pursuit, he sent out the command to all his forces to rally at his position and reestablish a battle line. Many of his warriors were dead and reeling from the, how does I say this? The thirsters, the bloodletters that had spilled from the porter. But his troops had died, nobly, mind you, fighting to the last, but they were still fucking dead. But the biggest problem occurred. Gruesome sight that had greeted him at the beast's last attack made his throat tighten in panic. Ethereal Anlos had been cut in two from crown to groin. Gore spewing into the fountain around him as his limp halves of his frail body twitched their last. Kyle, you played Dawn of War with me, and so have you, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you kill the Tower Ethereal?
The other Tau go nuts.
They go panic mode. The morale drops to 0. This whole time, a great keening cry went up from the Tau, establishing the battling line at the news of the Ethereal's death spread throughout the ranks. Farsight fought to restore order, issuing a series of commands to hastily reform teams, quit whining, this is not the time to mourn.
Quit whining.
Now is not the time.
We got shit to do.
And another problem came to occur. As jumbled and confused transmissions interrupting broadcasts came up through his net, a great number of brightly colored creatures had driven the second battle group back from with their strange flames, but for some reason they gave a wide berth to one of the worn-down statues near the dais. The Tau took the opportunity to regroup under its shadow. Meanwhile, the Ethereal that had joined the third battle group, Anduin, had been gored to death by an attack by a great vulture-like creature. Probably a changer of, not changer of secrets, what the fuck are they called? Changer of ways. No. I'm having a stroke. Al, what's the greater demon of Zinch?
You change your voice.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. I had it right the first time.
I thought it was Lord of Change.
Thank you. It was
Or
Kyle's right.
or is that just a certain one? Like his name.
No, it is a Lord of Change.
Okay. I was trying to remember. I know it was something change, because Keeper of Secrets is the Slanesh one.
Yes, Farsight encounters one of those too later, but spoilers. He'd been gored to death by it, and Farsight's warriors were in a fucking rout. One Ethereal's bad enough. Losing 2 is even worse. Trapped with orcs on one side and unidentified aliens, they're demons, on the other side, fire warriors were in a panic. where more of the creatures they shot down, more that just appeared, as if each one caused 2 more beasts to replace it. I wonder what kind of demon that could be.
That's the pink horror, ain't it?
It is, and of course, and it turns into 2 blue horrors
It
every
turns
time you
into
kill.
blue horse. Thank you, Bolt Gun. Oh God, I just hit my desk. Oh boy, everything's shaking. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Roser had it. Lord Change. We're also there trying to figure it out. He's like, "Come on, guys, it's right here on the screen. Read it."
Tapping into the visual feeds of the battlesuits in the second group, he examined their environment and immediately recognized a strange hexagrammic medallion brandished in its grip. Something struck Farsight as odd about the symbol. One thing, when he looked at it, the pain that he flared in his head seemed to subside. Acting on instinct, Farsight ordered his warriors to retrieve the medallions for the ancient statues and carry them against the flame beasts. As 10 seconds passed through it, breathless report came that the multicolored aliens were running from it. Anduin's leaderless cadre had adopted the same tactic after finding a medallion of similar nature at their rally point. During this whole time, he thought of those words given to him by Puretide: to secure victory, the wise must adapt. Ordering all 3 battle groups to converge on his position, he rearranged his battle plan in an instant. The fireworks in their teams would engage the orcs, forming a perimeter around the Great Star Dias that cannot be breached under any circumstance. The crisis teams would engage the new foes at the warp portal. With the hexagrammic medallions would be brought to Farsight wherever they were found. Above all, he ordered no blood must be spilt on the Dias. If a battlesuit was hit, it must withdraw immediately. Perplexed by his orders, they decided to follow it nonetheless. And slowly but surely, Farsight killed in the span of this battle 3 bloodthirsters with a 1-armed battlesuit. The Tau quickly was learning swordsmanship. Though after they managed to close the warp portal with the medallions, mind you, I'll say this again: the medallions were made of along with the sword, a strange black stone. I wonder who made these. It's one of 2 folks who used Blackstone. Either the Bloody Necrons or the Bloody Eldar.
I'll take the credit.
Yeah, we'll give it to the Necrons because I like the elves less.
Yay!
Instead of celebrating their victory against the creatures on Mount, the Tau returned to their fleet and exiles, or in silence, where they had found the last of the 3 ethereals sent to accompany the entire expedition, was found headless, surrounded by his unconscious bodyguards. All ethereals were gone, leaving the Tau bereft of their guidance. The Enclaves had lost their spiritual leaders in one single battle. They could not shake the feeling that this had not been a mistake, that some insensible force had conspired against his people by killing the ethereals, more like doing them a service. All his training and formidable intellect rallied against it. The visions he had seen in the crackling portal stayed with him day and night, infesting his mind with even more dangerous conclusions. There was more to the universe than progress, unity, and destiny. Something lurked behind the stars. Something foul, hungry, and evil beyond measure. Priced on a stick.
I'll be your local chaos nerd. Yeah, you might as well. I don't know chaos. I know. I do like Night Lords, though. Night Lords. Who do we got that wants to learn chaos? It's Corn Chris.
Yes.
I think he's our really only like chaos person.
And Yuki.
And Yuki. Yuki wants chaos demons for the patrol box, so.
All right. I am not doing a 3rd episode on Farsight, so I'm going to start going into a bit of a higher point because, Jesus Christ, I'm not doing a 3rd episode.
He got
And
that much of the lore, eh?
oh yeah, he has a lot of good books written about him.
Well, that's cool. For a cowboy?
Oh yeah, well because his story is long, and it's been added on top of shit.
Well, I can tell how much we're going right now.
Basically, after this event and after the enclaves had been basically settled, they'd lost all communication with the fleet, and they weren't communicating back as far as the Tau were concerned. And eventually, they came to the simple conclusion that Farsight must have been defeated and the expedition had lost. And they started mourning for the great commander. This was not what happened. The Tau had basically, after seeing this shit, came to the conclusion many of these fire warriors had also undergone the trial by fire and seen Chaos Horse and went, the Ethereals knew about those fucking things, and they didn't tell us about them. They said they didn't exist, and they fucking lied to us. And thus doubt was sown. Which makes me believe this was a Zinchian plot, and that they were responsible for killing all three Ethereals.
Sure, sounds like it.
It sounds like something Zinch would pull. To the point where Farsight went into exile. For, I believe it was, where did I have it in my notes? I want to say he went into he went into self-imposed exile for 50 fucking years.
For 50 years?
50 years,
Oh.
mind you.
Fuck this shit out.
Well, he went into self-imposed exile because he believed he was the cause of this failure.
He's the only interesting one.
Yes, he is the only interesting Tau. They murdered the other one, Anba, in one of the best ways humanly possible.
One of the best ways.
Kyle, have I ever explained to you what an inquisitorial assassination or an imperial assassination team is?
I have an idea.
It's when they send one or two of every fucking assassinarium class after a target.
Oh, you know what? I do remember you telling me about that before.
Like a Vindicator, an Eviscerator, a Colonitis, a Calaxis, all of them. All get told, go fuck that target up. Can you guess who the target was?
What, was it the Tau guy, really?
It was Unba, the leader of the Tau.
Oh, he's supposed to be like the supreme leader?
Yeah, he's the supreme ethereal.
Oh, okay, I understand.
And he got caught by a Calexis, the ones that eat your soul.
Oh, fun.
And guess what this sick fuck did?
Ate his soul?
He broadcasted it to the planet
Oh, nice.
of him literally pulling a Conrad Kurz on this defenseless old Tau. 10 out of 10, give that man a promotion. Anyway,
I just want to talk. Well,
I just
too
I-
bad.
I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I just want to rip your skin off. I just want to talk. I knew you were coming. I'm a light on. But eventually, Farsight was forced to come out of his exile when High Fleet Gorgon had appeared at the edge of the Enclave. And with the invasion looking lost, they developed I'm going to say this. They had tried to employ the Monkai, the killing blow on the Tau, but that doesn't work against the Great Devourer, does it? It is a multi-headed Hydra. You could slap one head off. The hive mind's only going to send two more.
This one's gonna hurt. Okay.
Thus, Farsight came up with a desperate plan. He evacuated every Tau off the world and prepared to deploy a virus weapon. With only their facility was guarded by only 7 if you count Farsight. My bad, 7 warriors, 6 in crisis battle suits and a broadside suit, and one of the few Riptide battle suits that had been accidentally diverted to the Farsight enclaves from a ship en route to a different campaign. And
So
Farsight,
those go somewhere else and accidentally found Farsight?
They accidentally put it to the wrong place.
wink, wink, that would be a young Tau commander by the name of Commander Brightstar. Or Firestar. I have to look it the fuck up. Jesus Christ. I'll get to that.
Cold
Basically, a young female Tau commander, like the little anime protagonist. Just they all, and the best part about this was when Shova showed up again. They're like, "Who the fuck are you?" Because this is 50 years down the line. Everybody just expects Farsight to be dead. And he goes, "I'm Shazo Wheeler Case Montier." You're a fucking liar. And Farsight's immediate reaction was he locked eyes with the current Tau commander, right? He walks over to the battlesuit without breaking eye contact. He opens it, climbs in it, and starts it up. And the Tau battlesuits are gene coded. And then he leaned over and goes, "Am I still a liar?"
Oh, so you have to be like encoded to use that suit.
Yeah, it's gene coded, genetically coded. It's not like it will just open up for any Tau.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thus, Farsight and the Legend of the Eight began against hordes and hordes of how to say this, of Tyranid warrior beasts, leader beasts, charging this facility as Vior, now an AI, was planting this. Vyasa was able to, how to say this, preparing a bioweapon. Farsight is one of the few warriors to actually beat something that he shouldn't have beaten. He killed several hive tyrants in melee.
In melee.
Yes, because in that whole time in exile, he was practicing his swordsmanship.
He was learning how to melee better than other
Yes,
Taus.
and that is a terrifying prospect to make. Thus, when the bioweapon went off and the hive fleet was scoured from Veloris, and they returned, they saw Farsight and 7 other figures standing in the ruins of this station, of this research facility. Thus, a legend was born. And I will
armored thick with this one.
I mean, to be fair, and I'll only say this once, to be fair, when you're holding a tactically advantaged point with high mobility, and all your comrades are incredibly skilled commanders, you tend to be able to get away with shit.
When you've got competent soldiers.
Well, elite, a specialist group. Thus began the group known as the Eight, a specialized Tau battlesuit command team consisting of Farsight and 7 of his closest advisors and top commanders. They are warriors beyond compare. Basically, imagine if, how can I put this? Can't remember what war it was, but when 10 chapter masters go to war together, and one of them is their leader, that is what you have here. Warriors who know each other by heart, know their reactions, how they're going to react. They are led by Farsight himself, and each of these guys is a veteran of dozens and hundreds of battles. Bravestorm and Farsight themselves, they alone bring 600 years of committed experience in the art of war to this already potent assembly of warriors.
So they know how to fight.
Yeah, and mind you, the 8 is only deployed as if, oh shit, there's something incredibly dangerous. It's like a goddamn Power Ranger gang. They are rarely deployed together. They all hold different points. But if the situation start looking bad at one of the points, the other 7 will rally up and then go to the other's position. Because what's the best way to break an enemy attack, Alan? Counterattack.
I was just about to say that, but okay.
Thus, this is the current members of the 8. Farsight, Ovessa, the old Earthcast band, basically a dreadnought at this point.
Yeah, didn't he get hurt so bad he can't leave his thing anymore?
No, he's so old he has to stay in the suit to survive. You have the great commander Bravestorm entombed in life support systems after sustaining critical injuries on Deneth. He has neither lost his feather or his quick mind that few could even keep up with. Bravestorm is the weapon, is the team's, how should I say this? He is their weapon specialist. Brightstorm is their close range anti armor. You have Shazbriesta, who was implanted with an AI in his head, kind of like the Halo Spartans, but this one you can't pull out, known as a Sword of Pure Tide. And how do I say this? He is their assault specialist. You have a literal AI just walking around in a battle suit with a big ass gun. You have Arcanon, who is equipped with a Enforcer battle suit, which is basically a lot of shitload of machine guns. And then you have Torchstar. That's the one. The one that, hey, I brought some tech. And then saw a literal living legend and had a Desu moment. I wish that was a joke, but in the book, she literally just stares and goes, that is not Commander Farsight. He should be dead of old age by now. And Farsight just cracks the joke of, well, I don't die easy.
And that was that.
Doesn't elaborate. Just, yeah, I don't die easy. No elaboration. All the other members of his commanders just chuckle a little bit. As when he says this, he gets out of his suit, and mind you, he's missing a leg, he's missing an arm, his skin is still kind of sunburnt from his "I'm gonna burn myself" plan. He's a very crispy, broken Tau.
To do what I must do to my enemy, I must do to myself.
Yes.
That's wonderful, guy.
Yeah, that's fucking wonderful. But that is Super Commander Farsight, as I was not doing a third fucking episode on this character. I will barely do it for a Primarch, for fuck's sakes. I will not do it for a goddamn Tau.
We will not go to a third. This will be the final episode, and you will enjoy it.
The only time you'll see me do a third, a fourth, or a fucking fifth is on a very, very large topic. Like
the Emperor?
Like Commander Farsight?
Jesus Christ, no, not the Emperor. That one's just going to be a gaggle.
Well, I'm talking about like the Emperor, the Rise of Mankind, the Unification War, the Heresy itself. When
Please
we get
no.
into
The
that,
whole
Bob,
heresy.
Do you really want me to? Do you really want to be talking about the heresy for?
we talked about Space Marines for a fucking year.
I mean, he has a point.
20 weeks. About 22 weeks for the Space Marines, right? Would you like to take 4 years of just talking about the heresy books?
It was more than
Yes.
20-something weeks because we were going to do Space Marine Legion and then Primarch, and then we got a couple of episodes through. You're like, all right, fuck this. We're just doing it all in one.
26.
So a
Like,
whole swarm of Neds wiped out by 7 geriatric weebs and an alien waifu.
Yeah, just
I mean,
about.
yeah, you're not
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
Big Roser.
Yeah, there you go. He summed it up pretty good.
And for the rest of the show, that's being pinned. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. Well, so far I have my nids just pretty well where I want them. I gotta do some touch-up work, but I won't worry about that.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Bake. You're not wrong.
For those of
But
you
yeah.
that held on this long, I'm doing like a more like white and blue scheme here. Obviously, it's kind of easy to tell. And then these two are the same so far, but one's gonna be black and orange, and the other one's gonna be black and purple. So,
But yeah, the only time you'll see us do another large episode like that series, because that taught me some fucking lessons. We're never doing that again. And Bob's is a Imperial nerd. I'm not doing that again. The only thing we'll do that type of shit, we want to start talking about like Sabbath's World Crusades, God's Ghosts, like
there
the
you
big.
go, there you go,
That would be a
Alan.
top. Ooh,
I got some
Tech-
of your techie boys, your HQs
Ooh.
built.
fancy.
I remember you were talking about we're texting about the Dominus.
The Dominus. So he wanted the eradication array, which I have on there, and then he's got the macro stubber, and he automatically gets the outside axe. But then I got the hooded head instead of the I don't know what a cylinder can head. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but
The pointy hat.
it's just a can. It's like he put a tin can on his head and then put the hood on. I'm like, what the fuck? That was the other head option. I wonder if you guys can see it. Yeah, it's this one right here. Like it's like he's got like a tin can. You cut it up there, and I don't know what the fuck.
He stuck a 2-liter under his hat.
Nids are looking good. The walking easy bake ovens are cool too. Those are the Termagants, right? They just pop out more nids. La Tula del M Perador Perador is not follow. Well, thank you for the follow. I'm just gonna call you Tula. That's a lot for me.
Hello, Tula.
How's it going?
I feel like
Hey,
that's
Kyle.
another language, and I feel like Emperor is part of that.
Hey,
Something
Kyle.
with the Emperor. Yes.
5.
What?
5.
Oh,
5.
Jesus Christ, you're right. We're 5 more followers and I'm in the cube. We're almost at 100 already. God damn it.
Oh. Kyle's excited to be in the queue because he gets to just sit there and paint and does not talk to us.
I'm not allowed to talk. And you guys are going to talk shit about my faction.
Yes. I have to endure it.
Yes, you did. I don't know
Fine.
how many different variations of
Bro.
Gilliman came out, but it was hilarious.
And I'll give you credit for that. That was fucking good. So, since we got a few people here, in the chat,
In English, my name is Emperor. Oh, God damn.
So,
I love that.
All right. Nice.
in the Discord, shameless plug.
That's some heresy.
That's funny. I like it.
There is a section called the Explorator Fleet. Please send if you guys have an idea, send a topic, and Bob will do some lore on it. While I make these two idiots listen to me ramble.
You trying to get
Well-
you trying to get somebody to pick up the next topic for you?
Well, I feel like I'm always picking it, and I feel like that's bad. That's not good for the chat. They should get a say. Unless you guys have a top.
We got some other ones like we got a couple things in there like about there's one about the Kraken, some dreadnoughts, the Gothic Sector War.
Oh dear
Planet
God!
Killa? Uh-oh. Funny orc war bosses. Less known
Tosca.
heretic war bands. Cool
Yep.
Necrons. We did the Necron one. We did do that.
Yep.
Less known
Tra-
war bands like the Fallen, Crimson Slaughter, and Warp Ghost. Yeah, I don't know any of those.
Yeah, they're weird.
You know I'm going to go right for chaos.
I know.
For chaos, right?
Pick the specific
And I
topic.
guarantee you, if we ask Ash, he's just going to say Yark or Armageddon.
Oh, well, we
I
already covered.
realized we haven't talked about this. Kyle asked this a long time ago. We never talked about it. The Kraken.
The Kraken.
Yes.
I
As in
wanted to
high-
know about the Kraken because I know they're from the Salamanders, but they're like purple and black and like they look sweet. And then I found out they're just like big game hunters. I'm like, yes.
The Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken Legion.
What the
It's a
fuck?
Space Marine Legion. Bob, don't even. Don't even say you don't know.
I want to say Kraken Regiment.
It's a Space Marine Legion. They come from the
The Dark
just said it.
Krakens.
Salamanders.
You mean the Dark Krakens, you dolts?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Lore
Well, Kraken-
Master?
You say Kraken Legion, and there's like 12 different chapters with the name Kraken in it, so I got to narrow it down.
Because I'm painting them, I'm down for anything World Eaters. Ooh, did you get the World Eaters army going? Nah, they got their own rule set and everything now.
Yeah, we could. Oh, we did do a whole episode about the World Eaters. Hentity, hint, hint.
I got everything. Oh, your wallet. You guys tell me you got an Angron model though. Definitely gotta have an Angron model. You get that painted up, you gotta show that off. I want to get my Nids scheme figured out. Have everybody vote and decide what they want to do. Because I'm kind of excited to paint this boy, the psychophage.
Otherwise, I will have to fall back to old topic choices. Like, I'll have to talk about Gas School. Or did we? No, we talked about Gas School in Yorick. Gaunt's Ghosts or Lord's.
We haven't really talked about the Lord Solar.
Gaunt's Ghosts, Lord Solar. Those were a couple we had the thing back then, where we had the
vote.
We had the vote back then. You could decide what you wanted to do.
And then I had to cover a few topics because only 3 fucking people voted.
Angron, Thirster, 8-bound Berserkers, and a lot of custom kit bashes. Very nice.
Dear God.
Very nice.
Nice.
I feel as if I've heard the cries of 1,000 bullets cry out in pain. Unless you live somewhere like fucking Cicero, where you can get a box for $10.
Oh man!
So I was actually playing Foxhole recently.
How many armies he has? Oh my god!
It seems like more and more people who are in Warhammer are starting to get into Foxhole.
Why are you finding a lot of Warhammer fans in Foxhole?
No, they're all part of the Wardens.
Oh, they're all Wardens.
For the Emperor, for Calahan. I mean, there's
man.
even now a regiment called the Krieg Regiment.
That's hilarious.
And they do exactly what you think. They grab a goddamn Car 98 and charge.
Yes, Yuki, I'm hydrating right now, Yuki. Hydrating. Look, hydrate.
Oh god, hydrate.
Sip.
Oh my god, she's going nuts. All right, I took a drink. Oh, I was getting to it. I was just talking at the same time. Oh, that's nothing. I also started collecting Deathcore. Oh, you poor soul. Ooh. Not the Forge World Deathcore. It doesn't show up for me, LOL.
I think I just heard Bob die.
I might have to fix it. I don't know if it was supposed to. I thought it was supposed to.
It's popping up on my chat.
Big, you must not. Don't do this. Don't do this to yourself.
The Deathcore, see, do the Deathcore too. That's not good. That's definitely not good.
Oh God, I feel your pain, my brother.
All the Forge World models. Nah, mobile Twitch just sucks. Poop.
Fuck, I can feel that pain.
I'm gonna try to get some of these colors out so I have them ready on what I want to do per which nid. So I got these.
We could also.
Don't drop them.
Also, if you guys also just want a mini topic, like a few topics I can cover in a few, you can suggest those as well. Like we can just go over guard regiments, Eldar war parties, war bands would be something I would do in a mini multi-shot. Because there is not enough lore about any of the war bands to cover a full episode.
You know what we should talk about? The Coronate Warband, the Gatekeepers.
The Gatekeepers. Oh, yeah, them. That'd be a mini episode. They're, how to put it this way, Kyle? They prefer. They love fortress defense.
Yeah, they love fortifying. They love defending walls.
Okay.
So literally, what they do is they will cut. They will see like an area about to be attacked, where fortifiers, because they don't want to build them themselves. That's boring.
I've already done it. I've got a Bane Blade and the command squad sitting right next to me.
Oof.
Someone has a lot of disposable income.
So what the Gatekeepers do is they'll see an area about to be attacked, like they've already fortified everything. They cut open their way out of the warp, kill the defenders, and then take over their defensive positions and defend the fortress.
If it works.
If it works, don't break it.
So imagine you're a human about to attack like an Eldar settlement, and they already fortified everything. You get up there, and all of a sudden now you just see a bunch of dead elves, and there's bloodthirsters on the walls.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one I would do in a mini episode, simply because it's not a large enough topic to cover our span.
Well, that's why you try to get like a couple of them in a row. Like here's this regiment, here's that regiment. We've done that before.
Yeah, like Lucifer Blacks would be another one, which are basically, how do I put this?
I have a cool topic: the Avatar of Khorne.
The Avatar of Khorne or Cain?
Is there an Avatar of Khorne?
See, that's why I'm asking. Big, do you mean Cain? Khorne?
It says Khorne. I don't know anything about that one.
I want to say I know. I'm just gonna double check if it's what I think it is. Because once again, this might be a Kraken Legion. But
I think Roser's pretty good on the chaos lore. I'm gonna take their word for it there. all the World Eater stuff, all the core stuff. Hint: Storm of Iron.
wait. Do you mean?
Bob's thinking.
What the fuck do you?
You want all your army the same paint scheme, right, Alan?
Yes.
Are you talking about
Your
that
custom one? Whew. Oh man, my allergies are starting to bother me now.
Do you mean Kroger?
Kroger?
Kroger? We're going grocery shopping?
Well, that's the guy's name. He was a Cornet Berserker and a leader of an Iron War Band's Grand Company.
Is he the avatar of Corin, though? That's the question. Kroger is involved, but he's not the avatar. Oh, you're getting close, Bob.
I have to reread that then because I'm missing something. Say, at least I got that right. I'm saying, at least I'm in the right part. Are you talking about the armor that weird chick that started talking to that weird chick he took as a slave? Is that what you're talking about? God, it's been a while since Storm of Iron.
Yep. There you go. You're on the right path there now.
Oh dear God, I'll have to reread Storm of Iron because I got only the fucking glimpsings of memory. I wanted to say at first I thought you were talking about Karn by calling him because they called him an avatar of Korn. But when you said Storm of Iron, it just Kroger? Maybe?
You're breaking the bomb.
We're going such esoteric lore now that even the lore masters have to go into the dark, have to open the book and go. Here's what you mean. So who we raiding?
One just jumped on.
I think I was thinking about going to Sir Davicus. 20 hopped on, then he hopped back off real quick.
Oh dear Christ! I'm gonna have to reread that to talk about that.
we haven't said that to Sir Davicus in a while. Normally he's painting, but it says tabletop, so maybe he's actually playing tabletop right now.
Biggs.
Oh, 20 is on again. He crashed and he came back on.
If I have to do that, I'm gonna have to reread that book. I will do it if you guys want it. So please go into the exploratory fleets and cast a bloody topic vote.
She became the avatar of Korn after Kroger's armor possessed her. Yeah, there you go.
As I said, put in the topics. I will cover it.
Here, I'll do the shameless plug. Yep. Join the Discord. Write down in the Glortors. Write down these guys again trying to spit that lore. Hey, Greenleaf.
What's up, Greenleaf?
Look.
Go to the Discord. Go to Exploratory Fleets. If there's anything you want to know about, anything you want us to look into, put it there. And then I will have the 3 NIDs here with different paint schemes. You guys can decide which paint scheme you like the best, and I'll paint my NID army that scheme. We'll do a vote once I got all 3 paint schemes done up. Let's go spit that lore, Dubs. You just missed it. We're getting ready to go.
We're fucking off. Much
We're
like that
sailing over
show's
to
over.
another Warhammer guy. It sounds like he's playing Tabletop Simulator, or he's playing the tabletop. I'm not sure. Lazy? No, you're late. We've been on here for 2 hours.
Listen, friend, just because you showed up to the demon murder party doesn't mean we're lazy. It just means you're late and we're fucking off before the demons get upset.
Good night, guys. I'll see you next time. All right, Roser, we'll talk to you later. See you in the next one.
We know what must come.
Next time, not this.
Oh, sounds like Bob's got a topic now.
I got a few topics now. Just everybody has to vote on it, so I don't feel like a dick just dictating topics.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's painting. I see painting. It said tabletop, so I thought maybe he was playing the simulator or the tabletop, but I see painting.
In fealty
Oh,
of the
there's
God
the
Emperor,
Exterminatus.
our undying Lord, and by the grace of the Golden Throne, I declare Exterminatus.
Well, upon declaring Exterminatus, this is it. I hope you all have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Sounds like we got a topic for next week, but if you guys want any more ideas or thing you want to know about, just go ahead in the Discord. Just put it down there. Also, join Discord in the Farron's Art Corner. I will have the NIDs up once I get them painted. Try to work on them this week. Get them painted up and get the scheme up there. We will be working on a special box here soon, whenever that happens. I'm waiting for it to come in for a certain raffle winner of the last sub we did. And that's all I can think for announcements. 5 more follows and I'm in the cube, sadly.
And we're talking about early Terminators.
Yeah, the good days. Well, as the time draws to a close, I hope to wish you all a good night, and thank you for stopping by, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Good
Peace.
night, everybody.